We wanted our video to be similar to other videos of the relating genre, our genre being pop punk, so we wanted to start at the very beginning and make sure that we were looking entirely at the codes and conventions of our genre, and because of this we started at punk rock as a genre in itself before its development into the pop punk genre. So we looked at bands like the Sex Pistols and the Ramones, who pretty much formed that genre of music in the 1970s, and we looked at the history of punk and its impact on a generation, culturally, socially and politically. We looked at the fashion and what it all meant, and what punk was about anarchy and freedom and the ability to be yourself. And we thought that that was quite a nice message to send out, although it is particularly portrayed in quite an aggressive stance. And from this punk genre, it progressed gradually into the pop punk, whereby the harshness of punk became diluted into more upbeat, fun tempos. Our biggest influence was Blink-182, who any pop punk band would aspire to be like, because they are probably the most successful band of that genre. We also looked at Green Day, U-8-6, Avril Lavigne, and loads of other pop punk artists. We wanted to see exactly what our audience wanted and if there was a trend in the products of that genre. So we found that the main thing of the pop punk genre was that it was about the morality of punk and about being yourself and being this individual, but it was not about rebelling so much as embracing who you are and who you are as part of a group. And it was a very loose, carefree, casual sort of feel to it. And we saw a lot of the bands that were quite varied. For instance, you would see a lot of dark clothing and dark makeup in the likes of Green Day's music. Whereas when you looked at Sum 41, especially in Too Deep, there's a lot of bright colours. Or if you look at Wheatus and Teenage Dirtbag, there's sort of a mixture between the two of them, whereas the band tend to be dressed in loose sort of carefree, casual clothing, which represents the band more as a band, as opposed to trying to make this impression on representation. So we decided that we wanted to keep with this, because the whole idea of the pop punk genre was to challenge the conventions of the time, whereas remaining true to yourself. So we opted for casual clothes. We wanted our band to just dress normally so that people could identify with them and see that these were people who very much lived by the values of their musical genre. When we looked at other media products, we noticed that there was this trend of performance-based videos and also story-based videos, and that the majority of music videos would have combined both story and performance to make a joint video. And we were originally going to run with this concept and include a storyline, but we decided that this is a new band and that we wanted to challenge that convention and to develop it a bit more with an upcoming band that nobody really knew. And we wanted to make it purely about the artists and the music and sort of introduce them to the world by making our video entirely performance based. And we felt that by including a story, it would take away from what we were trying to do, which was to promote the band as artists and as individuals and fun, light-hearted people that were in it for the love of the music. So as opposed to doing anything too complicated to appeal to an audience or to follow the conventions of the genre, we decided to take a step outside that and merely look at a performance-based video. We did want to keep the dark background, and we used the purple and the green lighting to sort of brighten it up a bit, to get that mix of punk and pop punk, which is what we saw in a lot of videos, especially in Blink-182 and U-8-6, was that there was this fundamental darkness which is very much a part of the punk genre, and then they would have little parts of colourful aspects which would bring in the more pop side of the genre. So we ran with the purple and green because it is a recurring theme in the band's previous works and its previous art, and we wanted to make some sort of statement or something that was unique to the band, so we decided that the purple and green would be an excellent place to start, so we kept that in. We wanted to use some various shots to keep things upbeat and a bit snappy and to reflect very much the way that the song sounds and the way that the genre itself plays out. For instance, we had several shots where the band were maybe playing around and having a few laughs, which is quite a common feature of the pop punk genre in a lot of music videos. And then we had a lot of shaky cam, especially at the breakdown part of the song, which is again a convention of pop punk media products. The shot that we liked the most was the one of the camera tilted so that you could see down the neck of the guitar and see how the guitar player was playing, and we felt that that was it was similar because a lot of the shots in previous pop punk products, music videos, would have shown a close-up of band members playing their instruments, so we felt that that was something that would tie it all in together and really represent this theme, and that we would capture a lot of the various shot types that people would associate with the pop punk genre in order to make a statement that this band is a pop punk band, that they are fun, light-hearted individuals, and at the same time that they do want to be taken seriously and they want their music to be taken seriously, and we feel that by associating them in little ways with the more famous pop punk artists, that this is a concept that would filter into the minds of our audience. When we looked at the ancillary texts, we wanted to get various ideas from other pop punk media products, so we looked at the websites of bands such as Sleeping with the Sirens, You Me at Six, Green Day, which was a massive influence because we felt that their website was just perfect, and Avril Lavigne. And one thing that we noticed that we absolutely had to have was this navigation bar at the top, which made everything so much more easily accessible, and that everything was tied in to a social network that was very easy to reach. So we have Twitter, SoundCloud, Instagram and Facebook up on the site as well. We have links to all of the band's important pages, their tours. Everything is very easy to find, and that's something that we set out to do 100%. And we also noticed that there was a lot of bright colours and a lot of contrasts between pages so that everything would stand out. So we had the black with the white writing, which seems very basic, but it is very easy to find and very easy to see, and therefore very easy to use. And we have the colours of the Facebook, the Twitter, Instagram, the SoundCloud. They're all very different colours, very bright, they stand out and your eye goes straight to them, which is of course vital because you want to tie in the product as a whole and tie in the band as individual people, which is where we get the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram coming from, and also their image as serious artists, in order to make them more identifiable and to associate them with other important artists in the industry. We felt that we did follow a number of conventions on our website, and that's what we wanted to do. We didn't want to challenge anything or push any boundaries because we very much wanted things to be recognisable and easy to access and easy to use. But at the same time, we did develop these conventions a little bit by going through websites and accumulating the data for which type of website is the easiest to use, what type of website do people like to go on, what do people find attractive in a website design, and we incorporated all of those into our website design in order to develop the codes and conventions of pop punk genre. When we looked at the digipack, we definitely decided that most pop punk albums actually go right back to the roots of punk with their album covers, and the videos and the music is quite poppy in itself. So by making the actual digipack heavily influenced by the more punk side of the genre, that we were keeping the fundamental part of it was, and that is the 1970s and the uprising of punk and teenage rebellion and freedom of expression. So we very much wanted to keep that convention in our video, but what we found was that by using the glass shatter effect, by using the purple and the green colour scheme on the black background, by focusing on that close-up shot of the guitar player, that we tied everything in together really nicely, and this was something that wasn't always done. So most artists, their website, their video and their album cover won't be linked, which is where we feel that we challenge these conventions in a way that was very, very much advantageous to us and to the band as fresh, new, upcoming artists in the genre, because it linked them all in. It gave people a hook to look and say, the glass shatter, the purple and green lighting, and that shot of the guitar is something that they will automatically associate with the band, and it's something that connects everything in together, and it gives this definite image, which I think is something remarkable that we've managed to achieve. When we looked at the previous music videos of the band themselves, we noticed that they were performance based and that there was that shaky cam breakdown moment in the middle of the song, that there were a lot of zoom ins of the artist playing their music, that there was a lot of fun, quirky, upbeat moments, and it was vitally important to us that we included this basic theme, because by not including storyline and focusing our video a lot on the band's previous videos, we again wanted to tie everything in together and not change the image of the band to suit the conventions of the genre that we were going for. We wanted to challenge the conventions of pop punk artists who wear the dark clothing and the dark eyeliner, such as Green Day. We wanted this band to stay very true to who they were, and they were some normal, fun young men from Belfast that wanted to make music and find happiness in their music that they wanted to share with other people. So we kept our video very much similar to their previous videos, so as to keep this fun, upbeat sentiment of the band alive and make their spirit very recognisable to this new audience that hopefully we will help them reach out to with our coursework. This in itself very much challenges the conventions of a genre, which puts a lot of pressure on its artists to conform in a sense to what they believe that pop punk is, and to include storylines, to wear dark clothing, to wear fancy clothing, and to play fancy instruments on a fancy stage or in a fancy location like Sum 41, play their instruments beside a diving pool. Blink-182 have a video in a skate park. Green Day have a video in a house, by a lake, in a mansion. We just wanted ours to be simple and casual and down to earth, to relate more to our audience and to challenge that convention just a little bit more. We wanted to tie everything in nicely all together, so we kept this similar thing between the video and the website and the digipack, which was, as I've already said, the green and purple colour scheme, the black background, that shot of the guitar as a close-up, and the shattered glass effect to make it instantly recognisable, so that people will see the album or see the website or see the video and know like that website belongs to that album, and that album belongs to that video, that song is going to be on that album, to make everything tie nicely together so that a new audience won't have too much trouble discerning what belongs to the band. We thought it was really important that we would use multimedia social networking platforms to our advantage in this, and have them all interconnected with other media products from the band. So the likes of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, they are all on our website, and all of our media products and ancillary texts will be interchangeable between these media platforms in order to branch out to the widest target audience that is possible. By tying all of this in under one sort of image with those 3 or 4 fundamental little key recognition signposts, it means that all of our ancillary texts and our main product are tailored to accommodate the band as a whole and promote the image that they want to give out to their fans, both new and existing. The effect that this connection has is that it builds up this integrity and this trust between the audience, that they can see the band and the people as honest and true to their image, regardless of mainstream media and the conventions of the pop punk genre, that they know what the band is about and that they can have complete confidence that the band will continue to live up to their own image, that they're easily relatable to this band, and that those who feel an affiliation with the band could very easily identify with this band and then filter into more albums and more success in the future. At the very beginning, we gave out a survey that we had various people look at, go online anonymously and vote on different topics and give their opinions, which were massively advantageous to us at our planning stage. We found that downloading was the most popular form of obtaining music, and for this reason we felt it was vital to use multimedia platforms which rely heavily on digital music. So we had SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We had all of these different social networking sites that were able to take digital music and release it out there for an audience to get. When we looked at the most popular genres, we realised that rock and alternative were the 2 most popular genres of music, but ours was very much pop punk, and we could have incorporated different elements of rock and alternative music to help our band appeal to a more mainstream audience and to a wider audience, but we felt that this was going completely against the spirit of pop punk, completely against the spirit of Cartier City as a band, and we wanted to stay very much true to the band's image because that's what this is all about. It's about tying in the band as a whole and getting a loyal audience as opposed to a mainstream audience. So we decided to reject any influence from rock videos or alternative videos and to focus entirely on pop punk and on Cartier City as a pop punk band. From our audience feedback initially, we made our video, we made our website, we made our digipack, and we showed it again to the people that we had surveyed at the beginning, and all of them agreed that our choices were correct in sticking to the pop punk genre, although some felt that it may have been safer and more attractive to go down the route of incorporating more rock elements, whereas the majority did honestly like the video, see the point, and appreciate the fact that we kept the spirit of the band very much central to the theme of our product. Our audience gave a lot of feedback on the various types of shots that we used, and when we showed them the video before making the website and the digipack, most of them picked up on the one shot of the guitar player, which is why it became such a central theme to our ancillary texts. They were drawn to the dynamic graphics in the digipack and the website, and as we predicted, they picked up on how easy the navigation was of the website. Their only criticism was that the social networking platforms, when you clicked on them, they went automatically in without opening in a new tab, but hopefully we could fix that, and it's just learning for next time. And one other criticism we received was that when you log into the website, immediately the music plays, which some people liked because it automatically drew your attention to the band's music, and at the end of the day, that's what it is all about. It is about the music and not about the image or the band as people. It is about their art and what they want to get across through their art. The first thing that we did was our research. When we looked at our research, we decided to start at the very beginning, which was punk in the 1970s. And looking at media technologies, we used YouTube, we used various online newspaper articles from the New York Times, the Guardian, the Times in England, various other American newspapers from the 1970s to see what was punk about, what was happening. We managed to use the internet to obtain digital copies of old magazines, of Vogue from the 1970s, of all of these different fashion magazines, very highbrow, very up and coming, and noticed that punk was a massive cultural influence at the time. And we also managed to look into the history of punk in our own town of Belfast, where the band comes from, and to realise what punk very much meant to people from Belfast. And because of the internet, and because of the media technologies involved in social networking, we were able to get massive opinions and varied stories and interpretations of history based on what punk was, and we were able to obtain footage very easily and very quickly from punk bands in the 70s at a time of complete anarchy and reformation and change and uprising, which is a phenomenal achievement, a fantastic thing to be able to do. And we were able to use all of this to help filter into what we valued as the spirit of punk, and to involve that in our product as much as possible. We also were able to use the internet, of course, and sites such as SoundCloud and YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Wix, all of these different media platforms whereby bands could make products, release products, and share their products with the world. And not just popular bands like Blink-182 and Green Day, but new, less heard of, up and coming pop punk bands as well. And these were all interconnected and very easily available, in which case we were able to find and use to our advantage in our research stage. Before we went on to planning, we wanted to get a definite idea of exactly what way we wanted to go. And so we were able to use digital software such as Survey Planet to get a good idea as to what an audience of the ideal age bracket we're looking for, and that was vital because it meant it was anonymous and that people could get in touch with us very easily without having to be identified, and therefore the opinions would be much more honest. We were able to use Keynote, Prezi, Powtoon to get diagrams displayed very nicely and easily accessible, so that we could see what is the most popular genre, what is the most popular age range, what sort of views do we have, what do we have to work with, and that was all made very easily available to us through the different digital softwares out there. When we began to plan our product, we had to look very carefully at the storyboard, and we were able to use Final Cut and to use the HD cameras and the MacBook Pro computers to bring everything together and to make our animation storyboard, which we were then able to put up on YouTube. And through the various social networking sites, we were able to release that animation to our target audience and to get useful feedback from them. Of course, when constructing our piece, we used the most amount of media technologies. We used the camera for filming, and we used Final Cut Pro to piece our video together. We imported that video onto YouTube. We put it onto Blogger, Tumblr, Facebook and Twitter so that it was accessible to as many people as possible in order to help us with our audience feedback. When we were using the website, we used different website builders such as iamcreator, iamsoft. We finally settled on Wix, which we found to be the best one for what we were going for, and we believe that it turned out very well, and everything was very easy to use, and that individual media technology helped us greatly. And in our formation of the website and of course the Digipack, Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator was essential to us because it helped us to create images that we didn't already have and to bring the images that we did have together to create the overall product. Finally, when we looked at our song originally, we were able to use SoundCloud to obtain our song and to release our song to our target audience without having to go and show them the song in person. So it was very useful to have that media technology and that media sharing format in order to get in contact much more easily with the people that were going to give us the feedback that we needed. Finally, we used the site carbonmate.com to display the various screen caps of our video after its creation and to put them up on Tumblr and on Blogger and Facebook and Twitter to make it a lot more easier to see and a lot more easier to use.